The new iPhone 15 and the 15 Pro have been announced, and I'm going to pre-order them, but you don't have to do that. Let's take a look at the new iPhones unveiled from the Apple event and answer the question: which iPhone is worth buying and which is a complete waste of your money? And trust me, it's not that straightforward as it seems. Starting with the iPhone 15, and I must admit there are new upgrades from last year because you can find those upgrades on the iPhone 14 Pro. But let's look at them and maybe you guys can comment below on what you think. As usual, the iPhone 15 and the 15 Plus comes in two sizes, 6.1 inches and 6.7 inches. I usually opt for the smaller version because they're way more comfortable and reduce hand fatigue. However, the iPhone 15's form factor now has a more contoured edge for easier grip and comes with 5 colors: pink, green, yellow, blue, and black. If this sort of reminds you about the iPhone 13, then you are not alone. It will have a glass back and the display will be protected by the ceramic shield. The display also sees a boost with its brightness coming up to 2000 nits of max brightness, which is doubled from the iPhone 14, and that is great news if I'm being honest. The iPhone 14 under direct sunlight wasn't exactly the most visible, so this answers a major pain point. However, I can't believe Apple is still doing this. The iPhone 15 will still have a 60Hz display. Now, I know some people don't care or some people won't even notice, but I feel it's just a duty of care. Why should a $799 phone in 2023 not have a high refresh rate? Doesn't make any sense even if people won't notice. But anyway, the iPhone 15 maintains its IP rating of IP68 water and dust resistance, and that is great, and honestly, I didn't expect anything less. At the bottom is the biggest change from Apple in over a decade. They got rid of the lightning cable and now have a USB-C port. This might be good news and bad news at the same time. The good news is you can now charge your phone, AirPods Max, MacBook, and iPad with one single charger. There is no need to bring multiple chargers when you're traveling. The bad news is if you own the Apple keyboard or the Magic Mouse and other Apple peripherals, then the lightning cable will be needed. I also see Apple replacing these devices in the future with USB-C compatibility, which in turn means you need to upgrade your devices, which also means you spend more money. It is honestly a revolving door. And oh, before I forget, the iPhone 15 comes with the older A16 Bionic chip that was in the iPhone 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max. Yeah, they're still doing that. Moving on to the cameras, the iPhone 15's main wide-angle camera is 48 megapixels, a huge bump from 12 megapixel last year. It also has a 12 megapixel ultra-wide lens that is capable of telephoto and improvements to portrait mode, which means you wouldn't have to manually switch anytime you want. There is improvement to night mode as well as action mode if you ever use it. And if you love to take pictures with the front-facing camera, this is for you because the iPhone 15 now has autofocus and portrait lighting. I'm just hoping with the software in its computational photography, pictures do not make my skin darker. Till this day, I'm not sure why that is. It's why I take most of my pictures with the Pixel 7 or the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Moving on to the 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max, this is where there are changes and where most people will gravitate to. First of all, there are storage changes. The 15 Pro Max will now ship with a 256 gig of storage and not a 128. I'm not sure why they didn't apply that to the 15 Pro because this makes so much sense. I have said this many times in the past, but a 128 gig of storage for a $1,000 or $1,200 phone does not make any sense. At least the Pro Max will have it, so baby steps. One of the biggest changes on the 15 Pro this year is the new titanium body. It had a stainless steel frame in the past, but now it is titanium, which means a lighter phone that is much more comfortable to hold. Absolutely love this upgrade, especially for people with smaller hands. On the left side of the phone, there is the new action button replacing the mute switch. This is also a great change as the action button is a shortcut to your favorite features like your camera, your flashlight, voice memo, and many more. Come to think of it, it now feels like the iPhones have two buttons on their phones. One on the left, one on the right. Because on Android phones, you can remap your home button to open the camera or even activate the Google Assistant. The new iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max will also have a USB-C port on the bottom, but in the Pro's case, it does way more than just charging your phone. Apple says the 15 Pro is the first phone with over 10 gigabits of transfer speed because it has USB-C 3 instead of USB-C 2 on the iPhone 15. This bloody boggles my mind. Yes, I understand the 15 Pro is a Pro version, but why didn't they just give the regular 15 USB-C 3? I mean, sure, most people won't even know or even care, but these are just the little things that could easily be done. Next, the A17 Pro is the new processor for the 15 Pro and the Pro Max, and Apple has been pushing this towards gaming. Even on the website and from their events, it feels the 15 Pro and the Pro Max will be able to play console games amongst other things. If that really is the case, it means they must have sorted out the heating issues with mobile gaming. Only time will tell. Apart from gaming, the A17 Pro's GPU is 20 times faster, which boosts performance and productivity, and of course, the cameras. Speaking of, the camera now sees a huge upgrade with having 7 different focal lengths. Macro mode, ultra wide, a 24mm, 28, 35, 48mm for telephoto, and a huge 120Hz focal length. The 120 is a 5 times optical zoom, and from just what I've seen from the event, I cannot wait to try it out. I mean, obviously it's not going to replace your Sigma or a Sony, but it'll do the job. With all that being said, which is worth it and which is a complete waste of your money? With the iPhone 15, it is hard to say because of the USB-C ports at the bottom. If you have devices like your iPad and a MacBook, then it allows you to use one charger to charge all your devices. It's cleaner and just much more efficient. On the other hand though, if you do not care for a USB-C port, the iPhone 14 Pro is almost a no-brainer. The iPhone 15 is $799 before tax, and if you opt for the iPhone 14 Pro, it'll cost you less or even about the same and offers a better camera unit and an overall better phone. This also applies to the 15 Pro. I mean, sure, it has a few decent changes like the titanium body or the new chip and the new cameras, but when you really look at it, they're very minimal, and I don't think you should spend $1,000 or $1,200 on the Pro Max before tax. However though, if you do get a decent trade deal from Apple that won't really break the bank, then sure, go ahead and upgrade. Why the hell not? So what do you guys think of the new iPhone 15 and the 15 Pro? Is it worth upgrading or nah? Let me know down in the comments, and as usual, subscribe if you got any value from this video and share this video with as many people as you can. Thank you guys for watching. My name is KJ Awas, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.